Hello everyone and welcome to our presentation video of our project, which is SP-201-Green-Agentic MA. So I have myself, Michael, Thomas here, Aiden, and Ming to talk about our project today. I'm going to introduce our project. So our mission is to leverage AI agents to provide detailed and cited research synopsis for finding relevant information, okay? So our strategy for accomplishing this is to limit hallucinations provided by LLM models by dividing that work across a multi-agent hierarchy. So to simplify this, it's basically you have multiple agents that coordinate subtasks, work on those individual subtasks, and then all aggregate their work together for one final synopsis, okay? So, our problem. What is our problem? Well, manual research is very time consuming. It requires verifying multiple sources, and that's just not intuitive in today's modern age. We have AI, we also have Google, and so now we want to try and ease the amount of effort required for manual research. Well, the problem with modern AI tools is that they often lack citations for the information that they're pulling their sources from, or for the information they're pulling their data from, and they may often hallucinate information. This is not ideal for research purposes, okay? So what is our solution? How do we accomplish this? Well, our solution, or our system rather, finds and synthesizes relevant, correct information from the web to aid students and faculty research for their coursework development, okay? So this is the intended use of our product. I'm going to shift it over to Thomas to talk about the functional requirements of our product.
Okay, so for our functional requirements, these are things that we said are necessary for our application to address our problem in the best way possible. We wanted to allow the users to be able to query our app naturally using natural languages. We want to make sure that context is maintained throughout our user's session state. We also want to retrieve information using Google search tool just to keep it kind of in the same scope. A big one for us is generating citations in a user-selected citation format, addressing our problem as well. We want to, just moving on, we're going to make sure that it validates report claims using a dedicated fact-checking agent, just kind of implementing the agent solution that we wanted to have. And then last but not least, we want to display final validated research output to our user in a clean and organized way. So that's our functional requirements, and next I'm going to go through our development process as a group. We use a few different combinations of things, but at the beginning of the week, we would get together as a group and kind of organize our thoughts on what we're going to do during that week. Each person would have their own separate task or thing to research on, and next we would kind of work in parallel as it shows in the slides, and we would kind of do our own thing, be communicating throughout, but kind of doing our own thing or feature. And then at the end, we would get together in a meeting and do like our GitHub sync kind of thing where we would talk about what we did, and we would be able to merge everything in a way that made sense based on how we think each other did and what makes most sense for our solution. So that was our process. And then lastly, these are our key technologies used. For the agent engine, we use Google ADK for our agent development and researching. For the intelligence itself, we use Gemini LLM. And then to get into our database, we use the Google ADK-based session services and Supabase as well. Looking into our front-end stack, we use React and TypeScript and JavaScript in some places as well. For our back end, we use Vite, TypeScript for that. And then the API integrations that we wanted to use was Cite As, and this was for generating our citations. And then I'm going to pass it off to me.
So looking at the methodology and system design, we tried a different bunch of implementations, but we ended up going with a sequential pipeline, which basically means that each agent gets executed one after the other, and the context from each agent gets passed down, so forth. So looking at the overview here on the left and then the diagram on the right, we start with the user query in natural language. So we wanted the direct LLM output first to show what the initial LLM response would be without the agents for comparison reasons. And then for the agent pipeline, the user query gets passed to the search agent, which we have 3 parallel search agents, each researching one sub-question. So that once those execute, these search results are put together and synthesized into a draft report, and the fact-checking agent validates the direct LM output as well as the draft report, checking for hallucinations and giving a accuracy rating. To set up the project, we first need to install Node.js. Then you need to clone the repo and set up the dependencies with npm install. And then to run the local server, you do npm run server, and then to run the local dev server, you'd run npm run dev, and then open the localhost in your browser. And then next we're going to show a demo with Ada.
Okay, so for the project, we're just going to go straight to our demo here and ask a question, such as, why is there such a large Asian population in the Caribbean? So this is going to take a while, so to go over other parts in this, we already have the email signed in. I'm not going to sign out of that, as this demo is going to take a while, essentially executing for agents in series. But we can also go to where we're using our database here, Supabase, and look at all of the other versions in the session history for questions such as, who's LeBron James? Who started Pixar? Who did 9/11? And what is the history behind Savannah, Georgia? I want to just wait for this whole thing to finish. Okay. So in the direct LM output, why is there a large population of Asian people in the Caribbean? So the abolition of slavery in 1888, the Indian indentureship in 1838 to 1917, and Chinese migration. Just a bunch of other things such as the Javanese migration, just a bunch of reasons to look for why it is. Now the second agent that we have is going to research all of this, looking for claims and links to talk about it. After that's done, the drafter is going to try to synthesize all of this into more useful information, just simply ignoring the links and just showing the information as it is, so the validator can take that and compare it to the direct LM output and the drafter. So from here, we have from Grokpedia, Asian Caribbean people, reason of why we want to do it. The second one we have is from Wikipedia, of the Asian Caribbean population that estimates 2,500,000 in total. Third one, we got one thing from Quora, from YouTube. And the comprehensive summary between the whole thing is it's due to the result of 19th century indentured servitude. Additionally, at the bottom you can see all of the links in MLA formatting. Just really down there. Yep. Give us a tool and you get all of the ones right here. The drafter, it just goes over it again, but takes it all into one comprehensive train of thought. Yep, here's the MLA citations. And now I just have to wait for the validator to see if it thinks that the direct LM output has any hallucinations or is completely correct. Regardless, this still gives you more information to make you more certain of why something is true or not, or simply the reason of how it came to be. Additionally, in the drafter, you can see as it mentions which thing it's referring to, such as our 9th source here when it's saying this, as they eventually grew to become leaders in the region's prominent hospitality, retail, and textiles. And in the final one of the validator, it says the accuracy rating is high, as it's correct about the abolition, it's correct about the indentureship, and the whole settlement of plots of land later. The demographics and the destinations are all pretty much the same, with roughly 27 to 40% being in there. And the conclusion is the direct LM and the draft both give you very excellent, just accurate quality ones. So going back to the presentation, the other presentation. Okay.
So, in conclusion, we've pretty much reached 90% of this project's potential. There are some other things that we could add on here in terms of, fine-tuning the models themselves, integrating them with a library system such as the KSU University Library System. We see a lot of potential for this project moving forward in the future, especially in the information, in the information data gathering age, with AI and all this stuff going on. So we actually do see a lot of future scalability options with this product. We'd say that our product has really demonstrated all the actual functional requirements that we really needed to demonstrate with the citations, the search functionality, the multi-agentic workflow, and also the database and persistent storage. So not much of this project that we really want to add on to. We've had a lot of fun working on this project throughout the semester. It's given us a lot of context in terms of using AI and context of building full stack applications. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. We enjoyed ourselves. Thank you. Appreciate it.